Hey everyone, I'm here to talk to you about the Flash Escape from Earth 2. Alright you guys, so this was pretty decent episode. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to talk to you about Earth 2, and then I'm going to talk about what was happening on Earth 1. And they do come together at the end, so I'll talk about that, all the stuff that happens at the end when I get finished describing Earth 2 and Earth 1. So Earth 2 starts out and we see that Zoom is hunting for Harrison Wells. He knows he's there. He knows Barry wouldn't come there alone. That's who he's searching for. So we see Harrison Wells. He's evacuating Star Labs, getting ready for Zoom to come. And Cisco finally made his way back to Star Labs. And this is when, they know Zoom is coming. Harrison Wells knows Zoom is coming. It's a trap, pretty much. So they get the other Barry from Earth 2 and they pretty much get the heck out of there. Harrison Wells has his own little time vault down in Star Labs also. That was kind of nifty to see. So he also has a secret hideout in his Star Lab. So I wonder if the other Harrison Wells from Earth 1 would have invented that also. But anyways, so they go to the other Iris and they try to explain everything to her. And what is funny is that Iris explains the day that she had the day before and that Barry from Earth 1 kissed her. And so Barry from Earth 2 is like, wait a second, him and me are gonna have some words. He's not down with that, So we see that, Barry's locked up with Jesse and this other guy, or it's a guy, it looks like a guy. This other guy has a mask over his face and he's tapping on the wall. And Barry's trying to figure out if he's trying to tell him something or why is he tapping on the glass. So Barry's trying to figure this out. Jesse has she's not having it. She's not having anything of it. She's been locked up in there too long. So Barry tries to, talk to her and tells her that, that her dad's coming for them, and she's like, no, he's not. He only cares about himself. And then this is when Barry convinces her that, that Harrison Wells said the only person smarter than him was her. And that kind of, strokes her ego a little bit. She smiles and then she starts helping Barry try to figure out this code. Alright, so back with, Iris and all of them, they're trying to find, Killer Frost. So Killer Frost can lead them to Zoom. That's their, end game. So they finally find Killer Frost. They throw down, and Cisco is really trying to convince Killer Frost that that there's some of Caitlin from Earth 1 still inside of her. That's why even though she did go to the dark side, she can still help them out and get revenge for Zoom killing Ronnie. So Killer Frost, she decides to help. So back into the dungeon, Barry and Jesse figure out what kind of code he's using. It's a code used by prisoners of war, POW, and what he gets to spell out is J. Barry is, trying to tell him that Jay is there on Earth 1, and this guy in the mask is like freaking out, like whatever Barry is saying is not the case. So when you kind of look at the guy behind the glass, he kind of has the same build as Jay and kind of the same hair. So you kind of want to think if Zoom has got him already and the J on Earth 1 isn't the J. Does he have some kind of shapeshifter, or did he figure something out from, I don't know. It's kind of, I'll kind of compare some of that with what happened in Earth 1, so you guys kind of see where I'm coming from. So this is when Zoom shows up. He tells the dude in the mask to be quiet, and so, you know, to teach them all a lesson to stop doing what they're doing, he beats the crap out of Barry, just lays him out. So this is when, you know, we see Killer Frost. She led them to the lair and leads them in. This is when they rescue Jesse, and the Flash still can't get out of his cage. So Barry from Earth 2 gives him this big pep talk that he's just normal Barry, and he just did all these extraordinary things, going after Killer Frost, going into Zoom's lair, and Barry from Earth 1's the Flash. So if Barry from Earth 2 can do all that, then he can definitely, you know, escape out of his cage. So that works. He, you know, phases right through it. We all that knew it was a pep talk, but anyways, Zoom shows up. Killer Frost, you know, holds him off, and this is when everybody makes their escape. Barry tries to save the other guy, but, you know, they didn't have the time. So back on Earth 1, Geomancer is, you know, terrorizing the city. So Caitlin is trying to give Jay, you know, velocity, but she says the velocity that she's, you know, making is gonna speed up his sickness. So she's trying to, you know, make a velocity that doesn't do that. She's trying to make it so that it doesn't kill him, and it gives him his speed force also. So we got, you know, Iris has a new editor, and Scott Evans, and he wants to not print one of Iris's pieces because, you know, the Flash hasn't shown up and Geomancer is terrorizing the city. So she goes and tries to convince Jay to, you know, help her out and give her some kind of piece for the her paper. But anyways, this is when Geomancer, you know, threatens the city again, says since he can't have the Flash, he'll have this new Flash. And so this is when Jay takes, you know, the Velocity 9 that Caitlin just, you know, perfected, and it gives him his speed force. So Geomancer, you know, tried to destroy a hospital. It looked like a hospital, but anyway, Jay saves all the people from inside, and it looks like it doesn't give him his speed force permanently, just for a second, because, you know, when he gets back to Star Labs, he's all, you know, ready to pass out. And this is when he tells everybody that he's gonna go take a nap. Alright, so since he's going to take a nap, Geomancer has seemed to track him back to Star Labs, which is ridiculous. Everybody seems to, you know, track them back to their headquarters, which is annoying to me. So Caitlin calls for Jay, but he doesn't answer. Like, he doesn't answer. They have to, her and Iris have to take out Geomancer by herself with Cisco's boot. So why didn't he answer if he was just taking a nap? That makes no sense. Kind of see what I'm talking about with the guy that's locked up. And usually if you're a speedster, you should be able to pop up any second. Does it? Or at least run your butt upstairs to see what was going on. He took a minute to get there. So if Zoom has the real Jay locked up, and, you know, this Zoom can speed back and forth between breaches, you know, whenever he wants. So it's kind of like, this Jay keeps getting more suspicious and suspicious, and I don't want them to do that. It's kind of, you know, I don't want them to repeat the first season, Barry trusting someone, and then, you know, the person that he trusted turns out to be the bad guy. I don't want them to do that. Hopefully they don't do that, because it kind of makes sense. You know, Jay was like big, like, don't trust Harrison Wells, and, you know, he was screaming that, and now we're trusting Harrison Wells and doubting Jay, which is, I guess that would be the thing to do, you know, throw the suspicion to somebody else. And since we all seen Harrison Wells be a bad guy in the first season, you know, we would suspect that he would have something dirty up his sleeve. Even though he does do stuff for his own game, but you know, still. Alright, so Geomancer, this is when everything starts to come together. Geomancers destroy, you know, kind of hit the speed cannon real bad, so they have to go down there and fix it. So while they're down there and fixing it, our guys on Earth 2 are trying to make their escape. They send Barry and Iris from Earth 2, you know, to get away. And this is when Harrison Wells, you know, Jesse, Cisco, all of them are going to the breach. Cisco and Jesse, you know, they go through the breach first after, you know, Jay takes Velocity 9 and fixes it. They go to the breach first, and Zoom caught up to them, you know, caught Harrison Wells. So Harrison Wells stabs him with a speed dampener, and Barry saves him, runs to the breach, and everything. And this is when it kind of gets iffy again. You know, Jay throws, you know, what they invented to close the breaches, and the breach kind of closes, but it doesn't close all the way. And so Zoom stabs his arm straight through Jay and pulls him through the breach. Like I said, weird. It's like really making me doubt him. After him not showing up, you know, for Caitlyn and them, him getting, you know, taken through the breach is kind of suspect to me. It's kind of like bait to get Barry to come back over to Earth 2. So the real question is, who is the guy in the mask? Who is Zoom? Those are like the big questions I bet everybody is having right now. You know, I kind of entertained the idea on the message board that, you know, the guy in his mask might be, you know, Superman. Because if you read the Flashpoint or watched the Flashpoint movie, Earth 2 Superman was like captured and, you know, held under stasis for so long. But there's no red sun rays keeping him at bay. But it would kind of have been funny, you know, since they're kind of teaming up with Supergirl in a couple episodes, you know, that weak unleashed Superman, you know, Supergirl and the Flash will have to keep him in check for a minute. I don't know, maybe they could use that since it's Earth 2 kind of a Superman and not, you know, Man of Steel that they're having on the big screen. I think that'd be kind of, you know, cool, but that's probably not the case. So anyways, you guys, tell me who you think's under the mask. Tell me who you think Zoom is. Tell me what you liked about this episode. Tell me what you didn't like about this episode. Subscribe to the channel, you guys, and I'll see you for another episode. Alright, you guys.